Hello everyone, I'm Jennifer Podemski. I'm the Director of Future History, and I am here with
Sarain Fox
and Kris and Sarain,
our amazing hosts who take us on this journey of discovery. And today's episode that we'll be chatting about is Pow Wows and Exhibitions. And I don't know, she has a pretty sly look on her face, so I'll let you start.
I'm just looking for something. No, you guys keep talking.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead. I mean, I got myself in trouble right off the bat with Sarain in the car when we went to see Beanie.
Oh, yes.
And we were going to do hoop dancing. And the nice thing about you guys, you never told me what I was going to do at any given day. So it was always fun to walk into these situations.
We wanted it to be real.
And a surprise.
The point of a journey if you know what you're about your experience.
And in many occasions, it was definitely a surprise and a journey. But I called the hoops hula hoops.
Yeah.
And I got chastised by Sarain in the car. But
it was for Beanie. I was preparing you. It would be better to be chastised by me than by Beanie.
I'd still be wearing a hula hoop.
We're allowed to embarrass you on national television, but we're not allowed to embarrass you in the actual segment with the person that we're working with.
We would never do that.
That makes me feel loved.
We wanted to protect you from that.
On our way downtown that day, when we were going to Exhibition Place, where you see the closing, we actually were coming from Six Nations, and Jen. We were running a little bit late, and so we actually were running out of gas, but we were also running late, so we couldn't really stop for gas, and we were trying to push it. But anyways, in the pressure of that day, I had the crew in the car, and you probably I don't know, this is just Lindsay and Kris and Sarain, just this is them in the back seat.
I remember that. I remember that now.
I forgot about that.
Oh, we were losing our minds.
Yeah.
So this is just, a day in the life. So, I'm really good at keeping these kinds of memories, and so I'll make sure to also post this video so you can see it in full on socials. It's one of my favorites.
And the other thing that I have to say that I wish I was able to experience it more was Jordan, who was our expert on this particular episode, was I had the biggest crush on him in grade 7 because I went to the Wiki Pow Wow and saw him dance, and then I took his picture secretly, and then I got it developed and hung it in my locker, and it was in my locker from grade 7 probably all through grade 8. And I'm not sure if that was creepy or if it was just there to inspire me.
There was moments when you wouldn't walk in the house because he was in there. That was stuff was a little.
Anyways, it was a real honor to meet him because I have been following him for pretty much my whole life. I mean, grade 7, I guess you're 12.
Stop doing that.
12 years old, and it was truly an honor to be able to sit with him and hear everything that he had to say. Pow Wows and Exhibitions is such an interesting episode because we come from a people who were put on display, and not it didn't. It's not like it ended a long time ago. No. It wasn't that long ago that this was happening, and part of the reason why I became a producer was because I also saw people in many ways putting our image on display in an inappropriate or inauthentic way, and I felt the responsibility to do that same thing but in an authentic way. So I mean, this being put on display and being an exhibition monument is not that in the distant past.
I mean, I think that I feel like we just survived. The way I say it is I just survived Canada 150. And I think that Canada 150 was probably one of the biggest ways where we saw in this day and age Indigenous people literally being put on display to benefit Canada and the idealism that we have around Canada. And so I think people like to think that this is in the past, but I can't tell you how many people reached out to me with literally a sentence that would start I need an Indigenous person in order to apply for this grant. I need an Indigenous person in order to do this thing. Would you be that person? And that's so backwards. So if you think things are different, we're not that far along yet. And you know, this was a really hard episode for me too, because I have so many dear friends and so much of my family who really identify with the Pow Wow Trail. And I never want to take that away from them or undermine that or make that less powerful for them. But for me, I think because I was so blessed to grow up with another connection to culture outside of that realm, I was able to see that powwow isn't about us. It wasn't about us in its origin. It is now. Like, I think we've reclaimed it, but it was so hard to talk about powwows because I think powwows are exhibitions to me, and I think our culture is so much more than that. But then how do you weigh that out when it actually gets, you know, integrated into the community in a way that is no longer what its origin was?
And that's part of the great thing about this show, I think, is that you're entitled to your opinion, but there might be another opinion around that same topic.
And that's the whole point of the show, though.
Yes.
Like we said, when we started to do this, when we talked about doing this, the whole theme of the show was to offer answers, but to hopefully have that people would have more questions than they would have answers when they're done watching it. So we want people to actually go forward and, you know, find out more about us and continue that conversation.
It's good to debate. It's good
Yeah.
to get into arguments about these things because that's really, you know, that creates the stuff that builds foundations into the future. So this is a good team to argue with.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed arguing with you guys for weeks on end.
Yeah.
Anyways.
If you guys want to argue with us, you can we can start a Twitter storm. I'm also down to argue live on InstaFeed, Facebook Live arguments. Oh, and you could even argue us a video to the Talking Stick segments. So if you wanted to argue with us, email your video to us at talkingstick@futurehistorytv.ca.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, live arguments.
Yeah, live arguments.
Thank
Great
goodness we
idea.
have someone here, Chris, who understands.
Yeah, if you need me, just call me.
All those social media things.
We'll have to get a 1-800 number.
Thanks for watching, and please join us at all of the socials after every episode of Future History, and stay tuned and check your local listings, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye now.